Hello, I'm Nil Gravity, and this is How Not to Play Magic the Gathering Arena, a show where we look at the janky combos that I'm fixated on, because if I see too many people playing the deck I'm playing, then I have to play a different deck, which has really hurt me over the last couple months as far as putting videos up. Even though the whole premise of the show is that I play bad decks, I let Diamond rank get to my head. Like, I got past Platinum. I thought I was on my way to becoming like an actual competitive player, and the last couple sets I can't get past Platinum. That's where I'm stuck. So on today's deck, we're doing a D20 tempo, and it's mono blue. I tried various combinations. I really wanted red to work, but it just made things more complicated. No version of it I made worked as good as this. So without further ado, let's check out what this deck has. Okay, first off, we've got a Spiked Pit Trap. We have two of those in there because they're expensive to activate, but it's important with our Deck of Many Things. We can get it back later, so this is our actual removal instead of tempo. Then we have Arcane Investigator. It's just a bear with upside. Basically, for this deck, I just need an early blocker. Pixie Guide gives us advantage on our dice rolls. Moonsilver Key is our ramp. Feywild Trickster is to help get upside on all our dice rolls. This is our tempo suite of Power of Persuasion and Scion of Stygia. It's just to get things off the board, and we have some Aberrant Mind Sorcerer in order to get back the powers of persuasion. Yeah, we're very good against like Stompy, mid-range deck. Then we have Strixhaven Stadium. This is one of our alternate win conditions, especially with how many birds we can get in the air. Treasure Chest. It works as either ramp or a tutor. Just luck. We needed some beefier flying, so I put in some Djinni Windseer. And the Deck of Many Things is another win condition. A lot of people might not realize that if you get a natural 20, you can bring back an enemy's creature and then use that, you block with that creature when they attack. Most people don't realize that that's a win condition, so they attack you, and then when they kill their own creature, then you win the game because you got the creature out of their graveyard. You never want to get your own creature out, unless you're absolutely desperate. I've lost games because I've pulled my creature out of the deck, and then they use removal on it. So the trick is you pull one of their creatures out, and then when they try to remove it, or you can use a pit trap on it, then you win the game. This deck is this one deck that this would be really good against is if you have a friend who has a white deck that's annoying the crap out of you. No matter how much health they have, you have a fair chance of winning because you have alternate win conditions. They're scrying up some stuff. Because this deck is featured around D20, it is pretty random and janky on that regard. I've played very good decks against it and done really well, but other times I have not. So it is very creature dependent too, which dies for removal and all that. But okay. So I tried to get the Strixhaven Stadiums out with the key because a lot of the time I have more land in my hand than I can get out every turn. So I'm basically tutoring into ramp. So it's it's part of the reason I was trying to get this to work with other colors, but just the mono color just seemed to work the best. Also, while intellectually I believe that someone would have busted Arena if they were messing with things, but in my heart, believe that the shuffler is broken. So whenever I can play monocolor, I do. Alright. Getting advantage is really key to trying to pull off my janky combos. So the other reason I threw the land to the bottom of the deck is because I got to keep a steady stream of dice going. So drawing into that is important. Actually, ramp up into that. Yeah, this deck has expensive taste. Like everything's pretty cheap to get out. Well, not everything, but it curves. The deck curves pretty well, but so many things have activation abilities to really get value that it's that the ramp is very important. And there is some pillow forting, which is like one of my favorite ways to play Magic in this, because the Feywild Trickster, you've got chump for days in this, so that's why I call this the D20 tempo, is because you're doing a lot of chump blocking and bouncing stuff until you can pull off one of the combos. The Strixhaven Stadium, if that's even what it's actually called. I keep thinking that that's not the name. Anyways, the stadium really adds pressure to it, because if you're pillow forting all their attacks and then you're running in and hitting them one or two at a time, you're eventually going to win, because you just need to get that counter up to 10. And have a successful attack, so it actually triggers the win condition. Because there's ways to tick up the counter without attacking. Okay. Yeah. So the other reason I have the Aberrant Mind Sorcerer in the deck is because it's a 3/4, so it's like the biggest blue creature that that triggers my D20 abilities. So which is mostly Feywild Trickster, but like I said, it's an important component for our stadium win condition. Sometimes I'll go for both the Strixhaven Stadiums, even if I don't need them, because it's good to have a backup, so that way if you get it up to 6 counters and then they remove it, that can really suck. so having a second one on deck is nice. But this guy's got so much power in the air, I don't want to get in the way of creating my chump blockers. I'm going to go ahead and attack with the Djinni here, because if he blocks, it's sort of a win-win. I'm either doing damage and increasing the counter, or or removing their anthem effect. I have another janky removal Strixhaven deck I kind of want to build, but it involves pinging people, which is like one of my favorite mechanics. So. Oh, I think the last deck I did on here was my my infinite ping combo deck, which is still fun in historic, but that's one of those decks that I thought was going to go places, and I just can't get beyond platinum. I mean, there could be a component of me not having the patience for it, because like I had a day where I had like 6 hands in a row where with one of my decks I just drew one color, like six games in a row where it was just, and there was like an almost even number of both colors in the deck. It was just ridiculous. And I believe more than half the time I mulliganed, it would be mulligan into having the same, having just one color. So, now I got double advantage. This is one of those times I really want to get that deck of many things out. Because if I can get the deck of many things out, I'm almost like not guaranteed to win, but what does it drop my odds down to, like from 1 in 20 to like 1 in 5 at this point or something? I'm not like a probability expert. I know that inverse, if it was disadvantage, would be 400, so I don't know. Okay. Oh yeah. I think this is, so after playing this deck like 40 times or something, I built it like months ago. I've been tinkering with it a little bit, but I had never actually activated the Arcane Investigator until this recording. This is like the first time ever. Oh, and I have it at double advantage, so that's nice. Double advantage, and the highest I got was an 8. I had a game later after this recording that I really wanted to get that kind of roll. I had my Pixie guides out, and I was rolling. I was going up against a mill deck, and I really wanted to get under 9 on the deck of many things, so that way I'd get stuff on my graveyard instead of drawing off my deck, and that guy ended up milling me out. I think it's like a... I know I heard it on the Penn Jillette radio show, but back when he was like on AM radio, it's like the only AM radio show I would ever listen to. But somebody called in, and they said that like probability is, or luck is probability taken personally. So intellectually, I'm willing to accept that that there's just mathematical components to this that I'm just not grasping, because I'm not like a details guy. Alright, so I'm pillow forting up, because I just need to be able to run across and have 4 guys not be blocked. That's my goal at this current point. And I'm about to double all my returns on rolls, so... Yeah, so sometimes I'll play the Aberrant Mind Sorcerer just to get the roll, and other times I'll do it just to get it out of my hand, because you can only win with the deck of many things if your hand is empty. If you have even one card in your hand, it becomes impossible. Chump blocking. Oh, I'm going to more than chump block. Okay. Seems like a prudent thing to do. I would do the same thing that I just did. if you haven't figured out or listened to a previous episode, I just forgot, that I record these and then I commentate later because my attention span is just not long enough to do this live. It's part of the reason I don't have a I don't like stream, so. Though I do DM, so maybe if I did stream, you know, I'd be better than I think I am, you know. Also on the channel, I did record a new Raising Module Citizens, but I tried doing something experimental with it, and I don't think it worked out too well. So I've been dragging my heels about putting it out, but eventually I might put it out. So okay, I'm not gonna block because I got plenty of health, and I like my advantage. And I get to activate the Arcane Investigator for the second time. And okay, I'm gonna go. I guess I'm going with the Power of Persuasion probably, since I can get it back next turn. Alright. More blockers. It's a sorcery, so I have to play it now. Oh, yeah. So double advantage. Yeah. Oh man, I forgot that I recorded this. And you get. I didn't realize this when I put it in the deck. You get to keep the creature till the end of your next turn. So, yeah, that's. I remember how I win this game now. So I'm able to get that back, and I got plenty of mana because my ramp. Natural 20, so it goes in my hand. What a waste of natural 20s, man. I wish all the D20 cards had something special happen on a natural 20, but they don't. It's unfortunate. But yeah, gaining control of a creature is super nice, especially in this, because I effectively remove double the number of attackers I have. Because remember, I only have to hit with 4. So when I stole their creature, not only did it double the power of many of my attackers, which doesn't matter, but I get an extra attacker, and they quit even though I kind of messed up. Because I should have attacked with all my stuff there. What happens next, so normally what I do on these is I just record 3 games in a row and I don't edit it, so that way you guys have a good idea of how good the deck is. First of all, I'm playing unranked, so I don't think that's like as an important of a metric, but the other thing is I'm flat out telling you that this deck is jank. There's just way too much gambling involved. I bet this deck is really fun in paper, and it's probably not super expensive. I don't know what deck of many things is at. To me, that would probably I think that's the only card that isn't common or uncommon in the deck. But what happened next was that I played 2 games in a row that were both Rakdos, seemingly identical decks. Both games went very similarly. They just came out ahead of me. Yeah, the game I play immediately after this, they get out the exact same 4 cards. So I get beaten in like the exact same way. So I just cut that one. If you're like, if you've watched the entire playlist and you've come up to this, and you're wondering why I'm doing it differently this time, that is why. Alright, so let's look at the games where I won with alternative win conditions. Okay, so this is kind of the tempo madness that I was talking about. Use Power of Persuasion. I basically been doing this the whole game to them. They would get some creature out, and I would find some way to remove it, and then I get my removal back with the deck of many things. So here I bounce this because it has trample. Not that it matters, because he's got 16 life, but I've got 19 counters on my stadium. So I just need to successfully attack with 1 creature, and then this game's over, even though he has 16 life. I should have just attacked, but I was feeling very paranoid for some reason, even though there was like literally nothing they could do. Okay, so there is a win with the stadium condition, and then the third win condition took me like I don't know, it was a lot of freaking games. Okay. Alright, so I've got nothing in my hand. Activate deck of many things. And then I did advantage, so I got a natural 20. I bring out this guy because it'll give me a card draw, and he's super fragile. Okay, I'm all tapped out, so I'm just not going to do anything. Or I'm going to attack. I want to entice them to attack me. Okay, any blockers. Okay, a little pressure applied as my stadiums tick up. And they attack. They might have just wanted to end it at this point, but I've definitely had games where yeah, I've definitely had games where they it was clear that they did not realize that they would win that way, or that they would lose that way. So yeah, so it can happen. It took me like 40 games to get it on to get it recorded. I think I did it one other time where I forgot to record. But yeah, so that's if you're like me and you like to if you like, I usually play casually in paper, and when I'm not playing on Arena, and I get a kick out of winning through those alternate win conditions that other people haven't seen. So This deck is really good for that because you have 3 different alternate win conditions that you can win with on it. So, I'm Nil Gravity, and remember, until next time, there is no gravity. The Earth just sucks.